The overpowered anime character trope has become a staple in anime. They're characters with overwhelming powers that make it impossible to defeat them. And while the strongest anime characters are similar in strength, they are quite different in personalities. Some have physical appearances that fit their strength, while some look cute or silly despite their prowess. In this video, we look at 10 most overpowered magic users ever in anime. Number 10. Rimuru Tempest. Opening our video is Rimuru Tempest. He is the main character of That Time I Got Reincarnated into a Slime, or Tensei Shutara Surami Data Ken, also known as Tensura or Slime Isekai. Rimuru is a fairly new character in the OP anime genre. He was first published on the novel website Shosetsu Kari Naro around 2013. Micro Magazine bought the story and published it as a light novel in 2017. Its popularity only increased from there, becoming a manga-adapted novel by Kodansha. However, his popularity grew internationally when 8-Bit debuted his anime adaptation. Rimuru was a 37-year-old salaryman who died protecting his subordinates from a stranger's fatal stabbing. As he lay dying, he wished for his body to be resistant to cold and heat, to no longer feel pain, to be wise, and to be able to talk to women. The great sage was listening to him and decided that the form he wishes to be reborn in was a slime. However, his slime form in his new life was a cheat skill called Predator, which could devour anything instantly. Number 9. Meruem. Next on is Meruem of Hunter x Hunter. Yoshihiro Tagashi, the mangaka of the series, has been releasing the manga through Weekly Shonen Jump since 1998. Nippon Animation created its anime series that lasted from 1999 to 2001 with additional OVAs. Madhouse, another animation company, contributed a new anime series from 2011 to 2014. The successful franchise with video games, musicals, and audiobooks still creates more anime seasons, with its last being an anime film in 2013. Meruem is not the protagonist of Hunter x Hunter. However, he is arguably the series' most powerful villain. Meruem was a spawn of the Chimera Ant Queen and was eventually declared king of the Chimera Ants. Because the Chimera Ant Queen desired a strong and invincible son, Meruem believed that he was untouchable and looked down on everyone. He was a violent king with no regard for anyone's life, including his own mother's. He does begin to care for a human girl named Kamugi and questions the difference between Chimera Ants and humans. Number 8. Giorno Giovanna. The unique thing with Giorno Giovanna is that it's an overpowered anime character that is not the main protagonist. Giorno Giovanna is a character from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which focuses on the Joestar family and their battles against evil forces. Hirohiko Araki began serializing the story in 1987, and it's still going strong. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has gone through 2 publishers, movies, anime adaptations, and even live-action films. The series introduced Giorno Giovanna along with other characters. However, you can easily see the difference in strength between him and his peers. The first of Giorno's abilities is Gold Experience, which allows him to create and manipulate life. While Giorno uses it to mainly create flora and fauna, he can also use his abilities for battles. In addition, Giorno can use Gold Experience and Stand Creating Arrow to perform Gold Experience Requiem. By using this ability, Giorno can force enemies to eternally loop until their death. Number 7. Naruto Uzumaki. One of the best overpowered anime characters of all time is Naruto Uzumaki. Millennials love him not just because of his strength, but the way he was introduced. This is because the particular generation grew up with Naruto in a literal sense. Naruto was introduced in 2002. By that time, a large portion of the millennials was in their primary or elementary years. Coincidentally, Naruto was also around the same age. He started as an awkward tween with issues about his worth. Additionally, he was grouped with Sasuke Uchiha, a prodigy ninja. Their relationship and the progress of their growth was watched by the millennials as their lives progressed as well. This made Naruto more than just a character, but a childhood friend to many. Naruto's story centers on a fictional world where ninjas formed cities that were at odds with each other. During his younger years, Naruto was an ostracized orphan. However, this didn't stop his will to become the greatest ninja of all time. It wasn't until Kurama, a 9-tailed beast with catastrophic powers, revealed himself did Naruto finally understand why the residents of Konoha avoided him. Number 6. Goku. An overpowered anime character list shouldn't be without Goku. Son Goku is a protagonist of the Dragon Ball series. Akira Toriyama created Dragon Ball in 1984 as a manga serialized for weekly Shonen Jump. Toriyama was inspired by Hong Kong martial arts films and the novel Journey to the West in the process of creating the Dragon Ball franchise. Toei Animation's anime adaptation of Toriyama's creation also gained commercial success, following 20 more animated feature films, 3 OVAs, and 2 more anime sequels. Eventually, the success of Dragon Ball also launched figurines, trading cards, and video games. Hollywood even had its live-action adaptation, which failed commercially and critically. Dragon Ball centers on Goku's life. His adventure begins when he met Bulma, who he accompanied across the world to look for Dragon Balls that can grant wishes. The series doesn't necessarily focus only on their quest. Dragon Ball also features characters that became their allies, the background of Goku's ancestry, and even powerful foes. Eventually, Goku became a family man who married Chi-Chi and fathered 2 sons, Gohan and Goten. Number 5. Saitama. Saying Saitama, also known as One Punch Man, is an overpowered anime character is a bit of an understatement. Known to completely obliterate the strongest foes with a single punch, what makes Saitama a cut above the rest is him being one of the funniest anime characters in anime. Unlike most heroes, Saitama entered the superhero career for fun and lost his interest when nobody could match his strength and ability. Saitama's abilities do well for his job, but unlike the rest of the characters in the series, he uses little to no effort to solve their problems. Whenever faced with a strong opponent, Saitama allows their long explanations and time for them to power up to their strongest form. However, he lacks the patience to continuously listen and only waits for 20 words or less before interrupting the enemy. His battles usually end anticlimactically. After one punch and a long-winded explanation of the villain, Saitama wins while staying deadpan. Number 4. Zeno. Another Dragon Ball character comes in, but he's not as intimidating as Goku. In fact, Zeno can be considered cute with his round features and small hands. Formerly called Grand Zenu, meaning King of All, he is granted the title of Omni King. Zeno is a supreme ruler of the multiverses. His abilities include Erase, which could destroy even immortal creatures, and Mimicry, allowing Zeno to instantly copy moves from an enemy fighter after just seeing it once. Despite being an overpowered anime character, Zeno has one major flaw. Just like other godlike beings, Zeno is indifferent to all forms of life. An example of his recklessness is when he destroyed 6 universes out of anger and frustration. Another example would be when Zeno and his future self played a game that resulted in multiple planetary destructions. Unlike Goku, Zeno is remorseless and a sadist. Number 3. Father. Full Metal Alchemist story centers on Edward and Alphonse, who lost their mother and committed a terrible mistake. In their world, alchemists have the ability to manipulate objects and transform them into other items. State alchemists, in particular, are those called to war, protect civilians, and obey orders without complaints. The series gained a heavy following and enjoyed critical acclaim over the years, even spawning 2 anime seasons, countless movies and figurines, and a live-action film. However, the most overpowered anime character in the series isn't the brothers, but an entity named Father. Father was a homunculus that bonded with Edward and Alphonse's father, Van Hohenheim. The people of Xerxes called Father the Dwarf in the Flask. His only friend was Van Hohenheim, who he taught well enough to become a scholar. Unfortunately, the king of Xerxes was greedy and demanded Father produce a philosopher's stone, which could grant him immortality. Father seemingly submitted to this request, but actually became the stone itself. The only one left to survive was Hohenheim, whose body became immortal with the souls of Xerxes' citizens inside of him. Number 2. Psyche Kusuo. Most overpowered anime characters are from action genres where their skills are put to the test. However, Psyche Kusuo prefers stability and silence in his anime series. The Disastrous Life of Psyche K is an anime about Psyche and his challenges to conceal his overwhelming power. He was born with psychic abilities that only became more powerful over time. Included in his strengths are his superhuman strength, time travel, teleportation, and psychometry. You would think that with all his abilities he would become a superhero or villain, but Psyche's only objective is to become a normal high school student. He does credit his mother, Kurumi, for her nurturing that prevented him from destroying the world. Despite Psyche's intelligence, he cares for his friends, Chiyo, Kokomi, Nendo, Kaido, Haido, Aren, and Mikoto. Although he initially considers them a nuisance to the silence he wishes to obtain in his everyday life, Psyche goes to extra lengths to protect them as the story progresses. He even feared that they would treat him differently should they know his abilities. And at number 1, Sung Jin Woo. Studio Mer developing Solo Leveling was just the right move as it introduced us to Sung Jin Woo, another overpowered anime character. Unlike most of the characters in this video, Sung Jin Woo comes from a Korean manhwa titled Solo Leveling. Ju Gong, the creator of the story, published it on Kakao Page in 2016. The series became popular enough to be published by DNC Media with English translation under Yen Press. Solo Leveling is set in modern times with hunters protecting ordinary citizens from dangerous monsters. The protagonist here wasn't strong overnight. He was actually a well-known E-rank hunter, the weakest level, who constantly threw himself in dungeons despite having almost zero magical abilities. After a traumatizing experience in a double dungeon, Soo Jin Woo awakens his cheat. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm Mickey V. Goodbye.